Good morning, students. I am a student from Arihant College of Education, and I would like to thank New Life School for giving me this opportunity. My name is Gurpreet Kaur from FY B.Ed, and my roll number is 41. Today, we are going to study an interesting topic in science from class 8. Now, before starting, let us watch this video.
Hello, what's wrong?
My son has a fever, doctor.
Let's check your temperature first. It looks a little high. Let me listen to your heart and breathe in with a stethoscope. Breathe in and breathe out deeply. Now I'll check your ears. Let's see your throat. Now I will check any reflex. I'll give you some medicine that will lower your son's temperature. He is going to feel better soon. Here you are.
Thank you very much, doctor.
Hi, how are you today?
I feel great, thank you. It's such a lovely day. What about you?
Well, I am not so good.
But what's the matter?
I have a terrible headache.
I'm sorry to hear that. I hope a walk in the fresh air will help you feel better.
I hope so too.
Let's have dinner. The food is so delicious.
I'm afraid I can't eat anything. I have a stomachache.
Oh, that's too bad. I think you should see a doctor as soon as possible.
You should hurry up. You'll be late for school. I'm afraid I can't go to school today. I don't feel well. But what's the matter? I have a cold. Okay, then you should stay in bed today. I'll bring you some warm tea.
Okay, so now you have watched the video. You saw there were various characters in the scene, right? In the scene 1, what happened? The boy was not feeling well. Mother took him to the hospital. The doctor examined him and later he gave him some prescription of medicines, right? What happened in the last scene, students? Yes, the boy was not feeling well and he was not able to go to the school, right? Yeah. Yes, so this might have happened with you all as well, right? You might have, there might have been a time where you must have had some headache or maybe some fever, right? And you would have taken a leave from the school, correct? Now tell me, students, what happens when you feel sick? What happens exactly? Yes, you feel sleepy, you feel dizziness, a lot of dizziness, right? You're not able to concentrate. Yes, very good. So students, now tell me, there are times where you are very good, okay, where you're healthy, and there is a time where you need a doctor for your help. You need to take regular meditations, right? Why does this happen, students? Yes, right. This happens because of your health, okay? So today we are going to study about health and diseases, and a subunit will be infectious diseases. Now, let us see what is health. What do you understand by health, students? Yes, health is nothing but when you are really well, okay, when you are good, healthy enough. That means how? Not even physically but also mentally and socially. Suppose you can go with your friends for playing, right? Then you can concentrate on your studies, okay? Then also you can have food, you can taste food, right? When you're having fever or something like that, you are not able to taste food, right? So health is a state of complete physical, mental, social well-beingness and not merely the absence of any disease. When you don't have any disease and you are physically, mentally and socially fit, that means you are healthy. Okay. Now let us see what are diseases. Condition of disturbance in physical, physiological or mental, psychological process of body is called as disease. Okay. There are two terms involved here, your physical as well as your mental process of body. Okay. Each disease has its own specific symptoms. Each disease will have its specific symptoms. Okay. Certain symptoms. Now, disease like diabetes, common cold, asthma, etc. are some examples of various types of diseases. Now, what are some more examples, students, of diseases? Yes, correct. Heart diseases, right? Heart diseases, hypertension, these are some more examples of diseases. Now, coming to the next term, what is illness? Illness is termed as an unwell or unhealthy state of mind. Okay. Now, tell me, students, what is the difference between illness as well as disease? Yes, it is something we need to be managed. Illness is something which you need to manage, and disease is something that needs to be cured. Okay. For example, suppose you had a fever, or maybe you had a stomach ache, or something like that. Okay, fever, headache, stomach ache, anything. What happens? You feel unwell, right? That unwell feeling, that unusual feeling is your illness. When you go to the doctor will give you some medicines. He will also tell you to do some tests. Okay, now when you are done with those tests, the doctor will check all your tests, and based on it, he will come to a conclusion that you are having some problem. So that problem is nothing but your disease. Okay. Now see in the picture, there are various types of viruses, bacteria. Okay. Now let us see the types of diseases. Now there are two types of diseases according to duration and according to reasons. Duration as in the days, okay, like maybe you have your common cold for 3 to 4 days, or maybe till 1 week, 7 days. So that is your duration. Okay. You have some diseases which are till 1 year or two, more than 1 year or more than that. Okay. So all those come under your duration. Okay. Now let us see. According to duration, there are two types: chronic disease and acute disease. Chronic disease are the long term diseases which are more than 1 year. Okay. And acute diseases are diseases which are for short term. Now, can you tell me what are the examples of chronic disease and acute diseases? Yes, chronic disease will include your heart diseases, okay? Then diabetes, right? Acute disease will include your common cold or flu, okay? Now, according to reasons, there are two types: hereditary disease, which is carried from the parents to the offsprings. Okay, for example, Down syndrome is one of the example. Now let us see acquired disease. Acquired disease is further having two types: infectious disease and non-infectious disease. Infectious disease are examples like common cold, flu, dengue. All these are the examples of infectious disease which we are going to study today. And non-infectious diseases are diabetes. Okay, all these are examples of non-infectious diseases. Now tell me, students, how do infectious disease spread? Think and tell me, how do they spread? Yes, they spread through, I'll give you one hint, sputum. What is it? It is the mucus that is coughed up. Okay, suppose you are having some particular disease, okay, and you are coughing. Okay, when you cough, what happens? The bacteria or the viruses which are there in your body, that will come up from the mouth. Okay, that will, when you cough, those particles will be taken in the public. Okay, it will go in the public. Suppose if you're coughing up in the public, then those particles will spread in public. Okay, so therefore it's very important that we use a handkerchief when we cough. Okay, and pathogens also are nothing but bacteria, virus, or other microorganisms that cause diseases. Okay, so what are pathogen, students? Bacteria, viruses, or other microorganisms which will cause a particular disease. Now let us see what are infectious disease. Disease spread through contaminated air, water, food, or vectors are called as infectious diseases. Any disease which is spreading through contaminated air, water, food, or vectors like insects or other animals are your infectious diseases. Okay, you can see in the picture the person is spitting. Okay, you can see the areas here. In this area, small droplets are vaporized into fine mist. In this area, mist remains in the air for several minutes to few hours, and here large droplets settle on the ground within few seconds. These are some pictures of bacteria, viruses, and microorganisms. These are, in short, pathogens. Okay. Now let us see some diseases. Okay, name of some diseases. Okay, then the pathogens, mode of infection, symptoms, prevention, and treatment. Now the first one is tuberculosis. Okay, the name of the disease is tuberculosis, which is the pathogen Mycobacterium tuberculosis. Okay, this is the pathogen. Now, how is this mode of infection? What is the mode of infection? Spitting by patient. Okay, suppose a person is having tuberculosis and he spits in public. Okay, he coughed and he's not using a handkerchief to cover his mouth. He's spitting in the public. Okay, someone comes in contact with that person. Okay, maybe some person, the person comes in contact with the bacteria which was there. Okay, so he'll get that disease. It can also spread through air, prolonged contact and sharing with and sharing of materials of patient. Okay, so if suppose you are in close contact with the person, okay, and maybe if you share your uh, private things. Okay, so personal things, you can say. Okay, sharing of personal things with the patient can also lead to this particular disease. What are the symptoms? Chronic cough. Tuberculosis is a disease where you will rapidly you will continuously cough. Bloody spitting, that is, blood will come from your spitting. Okay, emaciation, sorry, difficult breathing. Okay, difficulty in breathing. Now what are the okay, so emaciation. What is emaciation, students? The person is very thin here. Okay, the person becomes thin. Okay, prevention and treatment: BCG vaccine, isolation of patients, regular meditations like dot. Okay, this is a medication, this is a proper medicine. Now if you can see in the picture, injection, BCG injection. Okay, this is the vaccine given to the patients. Okay, this is the vaccine given to everyone. This is the treatment. Okay, hepatitis. Now this is the other name for jaundice. The pathogen is hepatitis virus A, B, C, D, E. These are the types. Mode of infection: contaminated water, sharing of needles, blood transfusion. Okay, now what are the symptoms? Anorexia, okay, yellow urine, general weakness, nausea, vomiting, gray stool. Okay, and the prevention and treatment: drinking boiled water, proper cleaning of hands. Okay, now the third disease. The third disease is dysentery. Okay, what are the pathogens? Bacteria, viruses. Now, the names of the viruses and bacteria are given: Shigella, Bacillia, okay, Entamoeba, Histolytica. What is the mode of infection? Contaminated food and water. If you are having contaminated food, suppose if you are having food from outside, okay, and it's insects are getting insects are coming on that particular food, and you have that food, so that becomes contaminated food. Okay, and water, contaminated water. Okay, so because of this you can get this particular disease. Symptoms: watery stool, pains in abdomen. Now, prevention and treatment: drinking of boiled water, proper storage of food, ORS consumption. Okay, drinking of boiled water. See, this was in jaundice as well as this dysentery. Okay, so drinking of boiled water, that is clean water, is very important, students. Okay, cleanliness is very important. Okay, you see the diseases are based on, you should clean your hands, you should proper cleaning of hands. If you see here, right, then drinking of boiled water. Okay, so you should be clean, you should not have contaminated food and contaminated water, which will lead to certain diseases. Now let us see some other diseases. Cholera, pathogen, Vibrio, cholera, mode of infection, contaminated food and water, symptoms, vomiting, severe diarrhea, cramps in legs. Prevention and treatment: following hygiene practices, avoiding open place food, drinking boiled water, vaccination against cholera. Okay, then you should not have the food which is the outside food, the street food. Okay, not have too much of outside street food, right? You should check the hygiene. Okay, the practice, you should practice hygiene. Okay, typhoid. Now the next one is typhoid pathogen, salmonella typhi. Mode of infection: contaminated food and water. Symptoms: okay, what are the symptoms? The same symptoms which we saw in jaundice. Okay, what was the symptom? Which symptom was the same symptom? This, anorexia. Okay, so anorexia, headache, rash on abdomen, dysentery, fever up to 104 degree Fahrenheit, drinking clean water, vaccination, proper disposal of sewage. So if you see each and every disease, most of the prevention things are that you practice hygiene. Okay, you drink clean water, you drink boiled water, you do not have contaminated food and water. Now observe these pictures, students, and tell me what do you see in these pictures. In all these pictures you can see that water is stagnant, right? Correct, it's stagnant from maybe 7 days or 8 days or maybe like that, right? Now what will happen if you do not clean this water? What will happen, students? Yes, it will lead to mosquitoes, and what will happen after that? It will lead to disease. Now let us see which disease is caused by mosquitoes. Dengue. Okay, now how does dengue happen? How does it spread? Mosquitoes lay the eggs in waterlogged places, and thereby their population increases. Okay, now they lay their eggs in this particular water. Okay, different species of mosquitoes spread different diseases. Dengue is spread by, now dengue and malaria, there are two types. Okay, so dengue is spread by Aedes aegypti. Okay, this disease is caused by DEN14 virus belonging to the type flavivirus. Now, what are the symptoms when you get dengue? Acute fever and headache. You also vomit. Okay, then pains in eye socket is very prominent symptom. The next symptom is decrease in platelet counts. Okay, now what happens? You know that there are RBCs, WBCs, platelets. Okay, so your platelet count will decrease. It will start decreasing when you get dengue. Okay, you can see the picture of the mosquito here. Okay, this is the Aedes aegypti. Okay, so the symptoms, look at the symptoms once. Headache, eye pain, joint pain, vomiting, bone pain, rashes or muscle pain, and high fever. Okay. Now coming to the next one is swine flu. Okay, can you tell me, students, from which particular animal you get this disease? Through the pigs. Okay, so reason of infection for swine flu occurs through pigs and humans. Viruses or swine flu are spread through secretion of nose, throat, and saliva. What are the symptoms? Difficulty in breathing, you are not able to breathe. Okay, then sore throat, that means you feel some pain in your throat. Okay, you are not able to swallow your food properly. Body pains. And what are for diagnosis? What do you have to do for diagnosis of swine flu? Liquid from throat of patient is sent in the laboratory. Now, diagnostic facilities are available in National Institute of Virology, which is in Pune, okay, and National Institute of Communicable Disease, which is in Delhi. You can see the picture here. Now, students, this is very important. You should be sensitive towards the nature. Okay, now see, dengue, how was dengue spread? Through the water, right? Water was being stagnant for many days, so you should be very sensitive towards your nature. Okay, you should protect your nature. You should clean your surrounding. Okay, you should clean your surrounding every now and then, and you should check whether there is no stagnant water in your locality. Okay, AIDS, acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. Now let us see what is this. This disease is caused by HIV. Okay, in this disease, victim suffers from various disease due to progressive weakening of natural immunity. Now what happens here is, the victim who gets this particular disease, it will start the diseases, the immunity will be affected. Okay, the person's immunity will be affected, and as a result, it will result into weakening of the immunity. Now, diagnosis of AIDS. It cannot be confirmed without test in medical laboratories. ELISA test is used for its proper diagnosis. Symptoms of AIDS are person specific. Okay, you can see the picture how the virus looks like. Okay, and 1st December is a day for World AIDS Day. Okay, it's a World AIDS Day on 1st December. Now, rabies. Now, students, tell me which disease is spread through animals, like maybe dog or something like that, or rat. Yes, rabies is a disease which is spread through dogs, rabbits, monkeys, cats, etc. This is a viral disease. It occurs due to the bite of infected dog, rabbit, monkey, cat, etc. Virus enters the brain by neurons. Okay, how does this virus enter? It enters the brain. Okay, now the most important symptom here is hydrophobia. The patient who gets this disease, he feels fear. He shows lot of fear, extreme fear for water. Okay, in this case, the victim shows extreme fear for water. Rabies is fatal disease. However, the death rate, okay, can be prevented by timely vaccination before onset of symptoms. Symptoms start to appear within 90 to 175 days of dog bite. Okay, now what are the symptoms of rabies? Fever for 2 to 12 weeks. Okay, then exaggerations in behavior. You show some different kind of behavior, like the first was hydrophobia. Okay, hydrophobia is a extreme fear for water. Okay, now you can see the picture here. Okay, this the bite of the animal. Okay, now tell me, students, what will be the preventive measure? Okay, what will be the preventive measure for rabies? What will you do if the dog bites you, what should you do? You should take the vaccination. Okay, you should not be like ki, I am not going to tell it to anyone. Okay, you should tell it to your family members. Okay, you should tell it to your parents, and you should take the vaccination. Otherwise it can also cause you a lot of disturbance. Okay, rabies alert. Okay, you should be alert. Now one more thing, you should be self aware, okay, of all. If suppose if you are having some particular problem, okay, suppose if there's a dog bite or maybe any other thing, any other particular disease, you should be self aware. Okay, and you should visit the doctor. You should tell your parents. Okay, and you should visit a doctor and be self aware about yourself. Now let us see the recapitulation. What are infectious disease? Diseases spread through contaminated air, water, food or vectors. What are the examples of infectious disease, students? Yes, typhoid and dengue. What is dengue and how does it spread? When mosquito lay the eggs in waterlogged places, it is spread through Aedes aegypti. What is the name of the infection which is carried through animals? Rabies. Very good, students. Now let us see the application part. Now below is the link in the description. Click on the link and fill the application form. I have also added the link here. I have also added a link in the description. You can just click on the link. You can write your name, roll number and fill up the form. Okay. Now let us come to your homework part. Find out what measures are taken for mosquito control by Gram Panchayat, Municipal Council, municipality of your area. Okay, and which measures are taken at your home to control the rats. Okay, so now I think you have understood the topic. Thank you, students.